And I hope you're doing well today. We're going to do a read along with Mrs. Proctor. First thing we're going to do is we are going to make sure that you can read sight words independently. And then another success criteria that you're going to concentrate on is that you can state the name of the objects counted, and you can count up to 20 objects no matter the order of how they appear. Okay, so we're going to do a read along today, and then we're also going to look at some math, counting up to 20. All right, here are some sight words. I count balls, cars, can, one, toys, and bikes. Now, I want you to look over here on the side, on the bottom, you have these words that Mrs. Proctor is underlining. These words are number words. These are numbers that are spelled out. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you have 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so those are number words. You're going to actually see those number words in this story that we're getting ready to read. So let's go ahead and move on to the story. The name of the story is called The Toy Story. And the concentration is counting. We love to count. We can count everywhere we go. If you're going upstairs, you can count the stairs. If you're playing with your Legos at home, you can count out those Legos. If your mom and you are out shopping and you're putting stuff in a bag for her, you can actually count those objects in a bag. It's really important for you to count because when you get older, you are going to need to know how to count the money that you make when you have a job, or to count out the money when you're going to buy an object or buy an item. Sorry. All right. This is a table of contents. The table of contents in this story, the Toy Story, the Toy Store, sorry, is on page 4. And then you see the glossary has a list of words, and we're going to look at those words later on page 30, but I'm going to point that out to you in a little while in the lesson. So we're going to go ahead and read these. Some of these words are going to be super easy, and you're going to know them. I'm going to go ahead and get back to the beginning of the book. It looks like it did that thing where it switches on me. So go ahead and go back to the beginning. All right, so you see there are 2 pictures up on the board, 1 and 2, and you see the number and you see the number word. We're going to go ahead and read what the sentences are saying. Last week when we were talking in our recordings, Ms. Proctor pointed out the exclamation mark that's at the end of a sentence. Remember, when you read that, you want to read that with excitement. So you don't want to read, I count the toys. You want to read it with excitement because there's an exclamation mark at the end. So you say, I count the toys. Super excited. I count 1 toy. And then what is that word right there? Truck. I count 2 balls. Yes, there you go. And then you know that the next numbers, they're going to be in sequential order. 3 and 4. You have the number and you have the number word. 3 and then 3, the number word, 4 and 4. Let's go down and read the sentences. It's super important for you to be able to read those sight words. I count 3 bears. I want to point that out to you for a minute. OU says ow, count. OU says count. OU says ow. All right, let's read the next sentence. I count 4 wagons. All right, we have the number word 5 and the number 5. We have 6 and the number word 6. Those look like little robots and some little rubber duckies. Let's read these words. I count 5 robots. Robots. Remember, you can break that down. If you can't figure out what the word is, you can actually break it down into syllables. Ro, and then B-O-T-S, bots, robots. Let's read the next sentence. I count 6 ducks. Very good. All right, let's move on to the next one. There's the number 7 and the number word 7, 8, and the number word 8. Let's read those words. Oops. Let's go ahead and move it back down. I count 7 crayons. And look, the word crayons is up there on that photo, the picture, and it's also down here in the sentence, crayons. Now, the reason there's an S on the end of it is because there's more than one. Okay, this is a kite. I count 8 kites. Kites. Make sure you say the S at the end, kites. Here's the number 9. There's the number word 9. Here's the number 10. Here's the number word 10. Oh, I like these. I know you probably have some of these at your house. Little plastic toys, little plastic animals. There are horses, and then there are dinosaurs. Different types of dinosaurs, too. They're not all the same. Let's read the sentence. I count 9 horses. Let's read this one. I count 10 dinosaurs. All right, here's a number word, 11, the number 11, the number word 11, number 12, and the number word 12. All right, and so you have some buckets and some shovels and some airplanes. Let's read the sentence. They didn't name these buckets. We might call it a bucket, but let's look at the word for a minute before we read the sentence. I'm going to underline it. The word here is pails. Pails. It's another word for a bucket. A pail. Okay, and then this word over here on this end, P-L, planes. Planes, like an airplane that's flying in the air. Okay, let's read the sentence. Oops, it looks like I drew on the board. Okay, here we go. We're going to read it. I count 11 pails. I count 12 planes. All right, we're going to move down to the next one. Number is 13. 13. And this is the number word 13, and then 14, and then the number word 14. I'm going to show you something really interesting about the end of the word in just a few minutes. Here's some more objects, and let's read the sentence. I count 13 bikes. Bikes. Did you see how Miss Proctor sounded that out? Let's read it again. I count 13 bikes. Bikes. We blend it all together. I count 14. That's right. Cars. Now, if you notice when you're reading that word cars, you don't really sound out the letter A. It's silent. So, actually AR, when you have AR right there, it says R. AR in the English language says R. So you're going to say cars. Cars. All right, very good. Let's move on to the next sentence. All right, this is the number 15. It looks like those are pictures of drums, and you have the number word 15, 16, the number word 16. Let's read that sentence. I count 15 drums. I count 16 trains. Let's move on to the next one. There are 17. This is the number 17, the number word 17, the number 18, the number word 18. Now, I know a lot of you like bugs, especially ladybugs and butterflies, maybe unique little spiders. And then here are some little pictures of some rubber boats. Let's read the sentence. I count, remember OU says ow, 17 boats, meaning more than one. They have an S at the end. I count 18 bugs. All right, here is the number 19. Those look like marbles. The number 19, the number word 19, the number 20, the number word 20. Those are pictures of blocks. Let's read that. Okay, remember Miss Proctor just showed you that is a picture of blocks. So let's look at that word. See, make sure we can read that word before we read the sentence. Blending those two letters together, B-L, blocks, blocks. And then, of course, these are photos of marbles. And we're going to read that marbles. And if you remember when I was reading that word car, I told you that the AR makes the R sound. So when we read it, we're going to say marbles. When you see AR going together, it's going to make the R sound. So let's read this sentence. I count 19 marbles. So the AR says R. We don't say the A sound. We say R. Let's read it one more time. I count 19 marbles. Let's read the next sentence. I count 20 blocks. Blocks. Very good reading today. Okay, so remember, you're going to go back and you are actually going to read this story again by yourself. You can mute my voice and you can go back and read the toy story again. But before we leave this lesson today, Miss Proctor wants you to look back at this part of the numbers. Okay, I want you to notice something about these numbers. Now I have 1 through 10 listed over here. Then you have the number, word. Then I have the dots, the amount of dots that match it. Then I have 11 through 20, and I have the number, word, and then I have the number of dots that match. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to look and see what numbers actually have the number, word over here and over here. So, for example, I'll do the first one for you. So you have the number 4, okay? F-O-U-R. Now, if you look, there's the number 14, but it also has the number word 4, and it added 4 letters here. There's a pattern. T-E-E-N. And there's, if you look at 16, it has T-E-E-N. If you look at 17, it has T-E-E-N. Now, can you see any other numbers that are up there that have the whole number word over here from 1 through 10 and added the 4 letters T-E-E-N? Okay, Miss Proctor showed you a couple of them. That's right. It's 14, 16, 17. Oh my goodness, you're right. 18 has the word 8, and then it has the word E-E-N at the end. Ooh, what about 19? Now, there's some of them that don't have the T-E-E-N at the end of the word. That is 11, 12, and 20. Oh, and then there's one more. 13. We don't say 3-teen, we say 13. 13. So you can see that there is a pattern here with some of these numbers. That's what Mrs. Proctor wants you to notice, so that when you do get ready to write them out, you can see the pattern. It will help you know how to spell them. Okay, so what I want you to do now is you're going to do a fun little math game. We're going to do this together. Remember our I can statement was that I can count up to 20 no matter how the objects are arranged. So no matter where they look like, I can count up to 20. So these are a bunch of little circles or little balls, and they're kind of all over the place, right? So you're going to be able to count them and tell what the total is. So I'm going to give you just a minute and you go ahead and count. And that is right. The total of these little circles is 19. That's exactly right. 19 circles, exactly. All right. So now you get to play this really fun game. You're going to go to this link and you're going to click on the link below. You don't have to log in or anything. When you go to the link, you'll click on play. It's called Study Zone TV. When you get there, you're going to play this game where you're going to count the different balls and it'll keep track of your score. Fun game. It's a great practice to teach you how to count up to 20 no matter what position the objects are in. All right, so thank you guys for coming today. Remember, go back, reread your story, the toy story. Oops. And let's go ahead and read those words. Let me see if I can get to them one more time. Let me see. We're going to go ahead and get to those sight words one more time. And the sight words are I, count, balls, cars, bikes, toys, one, can, and then those number words 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you have a great learning day, and I'll see you next time.